Great. So this is a little Healy demo to go through the programs and how to decide what's what. So I'm looking at the Healy Holistic here, but we start with the Healy Gold, just in case you have that one. So the first program is the Healy Gold Cycle. I'm here with Andrea, who has her device here with me, so we can have a little look at that. So I'm just going through all the programs and in general, kind of like how they feel to me. And it's always advisable to, when you start a program, to just for the first 5 minutes to feel if it's in resonance with you. It might not be the right program because you don't have the scanner with you, and that's fine. So when you think it's a really good idea to do like the detox of toxin with Gold Pure, and you start it off, and after 5 minutes of paying attention, it doesn't feel quite right, go off it and try release. But I just go through all of them. So Gold Program Pure is about releasing. It's a detox feeling. If you're very sensitive, it might feel like parts of your brain or parts of your body being kind of like moved and kind of like slightly pulled to release. So if you're not that sensitive, you might not feel anything. But whenever you do a program, just write down which program you did, date and time, and how you felt afterwards. So it's not necessarily so much during it because your whole body is busy receiving the frequency. It's more like the hour after. But you can do 2 notes. One is while doing it, how you felt, and the other one is 2 hours later or something like that, if you still notice a little resonance with that. So Pure is out. Gold Care is in. It's like nourishing. It's strengthening. It's like feels like nutrition into your body. It's the true meaning of caring. Yeah, it's making you kind of like resilient. And it feels like it's in. It's like a balm to me when I tune into that. Gold Balance is like you have like everything inside of you, and it to me, it literally feels like it moves things around. It balances, shifts things from one to the other. That's not what they would write into the frequency programs because it's for normal people and not just for people that are extremely sensitive, but it just might make sense to you. The next one is Being. Try it out, see if it works for you. It's for emotional balance. I have not used that very much, and it doesn't really necessarily gel with me, but maybe it's not a program that I need just now. So just take your own body as a device to check. Gold Energy is like a cup of coffee. When you kind of like need to do a little extra, or if you kind of like are just like busy mom and you just have no energy left at the end of the day, and you feel like you don't want to relax yet, you don't want to go to bed at 8 o'clock, you actually would like to have a nice evening with your beloved or some friends, and then it's not a cup of coffee. It doesn't have negative side effect. It just gives you this extra little boost. And then maybe when everyone's gone, you maybe want to do a little relaxation to make up for like the gold relax, to kind of like just wind down. Release is again a detox. It can be used for pain, and it's also related to detoxify, or like when you're hyperacidic, when you have a lot of pain. So it removes the hyperacidity out of tissues. So out of the 2, the Pure and Release, just see which one kind of like you need to do. They're both about protection and letting things out of your body. So the trick is tune in, be aware for when you switch it on, give it a few minutes, and then decide if it's the right thing for you. Then we go into the next program, which is Pain. Is that in your thing, isn't it? So I just look at what's in the latest of the devices, the programs. So the pain and psyche program, we know that when we're in a good place, we feel pain less. We can distract ourselves and feel pain less. So it has a lot to do with what happens between our ears. Chronic pain, treatment for chronic pain. So it shows you when you put in which way to give yourself the microcurrents. So either with these bands, which I have the thing in my bra, and then I have a vest top on and put them on, and then I put a pullover or zippy top over, and it's out of the way. I don't have any kind of like tangles of the cables around, and for that it works really well for me. So the treatment for chronic pain will tell you how to use it. So you have like the sticky bits and you put them on either side, but you can also use the sticky bits on either side of the pain. The sticky bits won't be sticky forever, so you do need to buy new ones. They are readily available. If you don't know where, they're not very expensive, but the stickiness just goes away after a while. You can get from TENS machines, there's like a gel that you can put on, which helps with keeping them longer hydrated, and they work then longer. But it's just something you will need to go through if you have chronic pain. That's something you need to be aware of. So there's chronic treatment and there is back pain treatment. There's tooth and jaw local. It's amazing with teeth. Absolutely fantastic. Joint local, migraines. Go easy when you have migraines. Don't use it when you have the migraine. Use it when you have, like most people with migraine, again, do a journal. When do I have migraines? Is it like with the moon or every blue moon, or is there kind of like some kind of like regularity about it, right? And then you do it before you have the migraine. People that I know that have tried migraine program while they had like really extreme migraines, it didn't go down well. So prepare with migraine. Don't add extra frequency while your brain is having an absolute, hissy fit here, right? Just be sensible. This is something you prepare. You can do once a day if you have migraine, if that's the thing for you. Insomnia is again, you don't do it in the middle of the night when you wake up at 3 o'clock. You put not insomnia on. That's not the problem. There's an underlying issue. I'll get to that in a moment. Depression and anxiety, again, like when we can get out of the idea that we press a button and it fixes us, we understand Healy. We need to kind of like slowly strengthen our system to run new frequencies. And that's done daily. For pretty much anything acute, I would always run one system that I choose for 3 times. If it feels like it's resonating. And if it's, let's say, it's gone after the first time, it might not be, which is okay, because it's not like magic, the machine. It's only promoting self-healing in your body. It doesn't take any pain away. It helps your body to bring down that inflammation. So when, let's say after the first treatment, you're like jumping down the stairs and you're super happy, you still do it another 3 times. So like how I did with my allergies, for example, my allergies were really bad. I did it for a while and then it kind of like was gone, but I would still do 3 sessions, even though I have no symptoms. And then next time I went into the same environment with feather beds and dogs and cats and you name it around, I didn't immediately feel like I would be dying of an asthma attack. So my system has already kind of like adjusted. I got better, my allergies got better, so that even a month later, I would still feel the benefit. If you only ever press a button to solve a problem, you will become dependent on this machine, and that's the last thing I want. Okay, so we want to make your body upgrade so there's less need for the machine. Bioenergetic balance program 1 is first immune system, which is great. As soon as you have kind of like, or as soon as someone around you has a compromised immune system, I run that. When I feel cold to the core, quite often I can feel that my kidneys or my feet feel cold. I would run cold. So it's literally when you feel cold, but it's also when you're a little bit mucousy. Yeah. Chilling. Is that chilling? Is that called chilling there? Yeah. Yeah. So it's called chilling in another program. That's why I try to keep the lingo going here. Next one is hypersensitivity in the new program, and here it's still called allergies. Same thing, right? It's for allergies. Eyes, hormones, intestine, nerves, flexibility, circulatory system, potency, menopause, menstrual location. So they are all called the same. So chilling is cold, allergies is hypersensitivity. Eyes is when I have like red eyes because I've been too much on the screen. I sometimes treat myself to eyes in the evening. Hormones, like I have the machine that can scan and it just tells me when my hormones need some extra help, and that's when I run hormones. When that's a topic for you, please just reach out and let's have a check of how you tackle that. Yeah, it needs a bit more of a, if there's something chronic or something that's really out, just check in and let's get a little program for you put together, and I can scan you as well. Nerves, nerves is after shock. Nerves is when your nerves have been rattled. Does that make sense? When there has been like an impact and you just go, I'm a nervous wreck. That's when you do nerves, right? So, and you again do it more than just once so that your nerves can actually strengthen. Flexibility is mobility of joints. It's a lovely one. It's like a little oil can in your joints. I love it. Circulatory system is for subtle energies of warm hands, warm feet, and things like that. Potency, male reproductive organs, menopause, female reproductive organs after the age of 40. Menstrual location is when you have pain and cramps. You use the stickers and it's amazing. Bioresonant 2. Gastrointestinal, bacterial, tonsils, liver, food sensitivity, which is here intolerances, toxins, head, lung. Yeah, so it's a bit different here. There's a prostate here. I don't know. Like this is supposed to be the updated one. They're just slightly different. Maybe this is American. It could be. Gastrointestinal, that is what you use when you have like IBS and things like that. Again, you do a program, you do a few things, you do care and gastrointestinal, but I can set you up with that. If you bought the machines from me, I'm very happy to do that. Bacteria, any wounds and things like that, fantastic with. Bacterial infection of the bladder, if you have like tender bladder and things like that, really good. Tonsillitis, throat, liver function. Well, you could do this when you've had a hangover. I've tried it once and I don't have a hangover. I only drink one glass, and I just thought I didn't have enough to eat when I had the glass of wine. Liver. Liver function. Don't do it when you've had a hangover. No, do the detox. Do the pure of the gold program, because the liver really doesn't like extra energy while it's working already at its capacity. It's kind of like gone, have enough here, don't need any more. Thanks for your input, but I've got my hands full, right? So you could strengthen your liver after maybe the next day when you're over the hangover, that's okay. But please understand that it's interfering with your liver doing its very best. So not liver function for hangovers, okay? And then next one is, sorry, liver function, where are we? Intolerances. Intolerant food sensitivities. Well, I know some people, they can only really eat 5 things. And if you have IBS, you might also just be on porridge or whatever. So I would never just run gastrointestinal on its own. It needs to go together with food sensitivity or whatever is relevant for you, and I can test that. And you can bring that intolerance down after a while. This takes a little while. This is not kind of like just like a button and you're healed or something like that. So be sensitive. Toxins again. I love the toxins thing after the full moon because your body detoxifies anyhow. So if I feel like I want to detox or to accompany a detox, that's a beautiful one to do. Head. Reduction of tension. I don't know why that says prostate energetic support, prostate gland. Like I always knew that what's happening with men down there affects their head, but this is the first time I read this, that the head has anything to do with the prostate gland. So a little surprise for me there. That's quite funny. I don't expand further on that one. I just let your imagination go wild. Mine does. Lung function. So that is fantastic when you have a cough, post-COVID, all sorts of things. If you feel out of breath when you go just for a walk, lung function is great to increase the lung function and support your lungs. Thyroid gland has to do with weight loss. So if you have a slow thyroid, a hypothyroid, you will be drawn to gaining weight, especially in menopause. And when it's high, you can't keep your weight on. And there's other things like falling out hair and all sorts of things that you can get. And so if you know you have a thyroid issue, it will balance it. It's not one for up and one for down. It just brings it into balance, which no medication can do, right? So, so it helps your body through the right vibration to go back into balance. Joints, bones, great for osteoporosis. So that is the go-to in menopause as well. I would have that as a staple once a week. Just some of the programs I just run as maintenance. Sciatica local is an absolute heaven sent. It did actually totally do exactly that 2 weeks ago for me, from a really angry nerve down my leg, from having my beloved 8-year-old on my lap for a whole afternoon. It was lovely, and I thought I would just stretch it out the next day. It was a bit more than that. It was really angry, and it took me 2.5 days to get the angry out with Healy. So just be prepared that it might take a few days. But I know people that have had sciatica for years, so just catch it early. Mental balance. Inner strength system. It's inner strength. It's like your core, your being, your self-esteem. So it's a lovely self-esteem booster or confidence booster. That's how I feel it. Emotional well-being. It works around blockages. So go easy on this one. If you have complex trauma, don't go for emotional well-being. It will move blockages in your system. Sounds like a really good program to go to. I would not advise that, but you will find out in the first 5 minutes that if that is too much for you, that will not work. Just go easy on that one. Comes with a little bit of a word of caution there. Feel good system, are they called the same? So we have inner strength, emotional well-being, feel good system. Yeah, feel good system is exactly that. I love it. It's like a little maybe like a glass of sparkly wine or something like that in good company. Kind of like that bubbly feeling. Take a note there. So if you're used to a little glass of wine in the evening, I would use that instead and see how you go. But there's another one to replace a glass of wine with, or to at least see how you go with that. Contentment. Well, contentment. Who doesn't want to press a button and have contentment, right? It's good. But what it really, really, really helps with is with stopping smoking. And there's research on that. Really helps with stopping smoking or any other addiction. Which is chocolate is not an addiction, darling. Come on, as long as it's good chocolate, it can hardly be an addiction. It's food of the gods, okay? So if it's crap chocolate, yes, but then it's a spleen imbalance, not it's a different thing. Craving sweets is spleen that needs supported. Inner unity is really nice. Psychic wholeness, it says. It's a bit like a psychic protection. I love it. Like if I go into, like when I go and work with the foster kids, I run inner unity while I'm there. I'm sending it to me in the time I'm there. It feels like it gives me, like I've had someone spit in my face there and I didn't rip their head off. That is what I would feel inner unity is. Handling yourself with grace without being completely rocked and a marionette of your environment. You don't have to have the cables on for that. You can just have it in your bra or in your pocket, on your as close to your body as you can, and you can just let it run. It will be black on the phone because there's no electrodes connecting, but it's still there and it still works. Well-being soul. Well-being soul is one of those love-hate things. If you're really stuck in your head, like really, really heady, and you put well-being soul on, it will jar you. It's balancing compulsive behaviors like overthinking or any other addictions, but it's not the first to go to. So please work with me on that and let well-being support you with other things that you're doing, but don't just put on well-being if you have compulsive behaviors. It might go the wrong way. It's just too much shift at one time. Mental balance acute, again, if you kind of like feel a little bit crazy, you can put that on. That's acute. Acute means in the moment, when it happens. That is whenever there's acute written, you use it when it happens. With all the other ones, you need to prepare, like migraine and all that. It didn't say migraine acute, right? So if it would have said migraine acute, you could use it while you're having a migraine because it just says migraine. You prep your way to it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. Can you give me the meridian one? That should be okay. So you see there's more than one allergy meridian, and I feel the two differently. Just try one, see how it feels, and then go for the other one. Compare them, make notes. For me, they feel different. So all these programs here are a mixture out of like a mixture resonance out of 144,000 frequencies. And the name that you have there is just the headline for like, something that changes and has like a cocktail of different things for you. If you think of every frequency being a note, it's like a whole symphony that gets sent to you. But that symphony that needs to land in your body. And for you to improve that part of your body, you play it over and over again. So you can maybe hum with it. It makes sense. It's a familiar song. That's why you want to do at least 3 after the problem has been solved. Does that make sense? And then if you kind of like do it more often, you don't just hum with it. You could even hum it when it's not playing. And when you can hum it when it's not playing, then it's kind of like it has arrived in your system. So do less is more, because if you have like a whole album of symphonies, that will never happen. You never get to becoming that intimately familiar with that song, and you're just jinxing it. Just see this as a long-term investment. None of this needs to be happening in the first few weeks. Go easy, less is more. Allow your body to create some space for these energies to come in. I know it's very tempting to get the wrinkles out of the way while you try to get sane at the same time. Like, just get your priorities right, okay? So just make sure you write down what you want to work on and then prioritize it and work with one at a time. So I always do morning and evening, kind of like if I have a topic, which I ran out of topics, I would do the same thing or on the same for the same topic. And the middle one could be an extra for what the day brings. Or if I need to maybe focus because I need to do my accounts, I put the ear clips on. And I find it really good because accounts is kind of like really not working with my brain. But I did my accounts in one weekend, last weekend, with the ear clips on. And it doesn't need to be on the whole time. You do it once.
Program? Sorry, did you run for doing your accounts?
We'll get there. Don't worry. Cool. Allergy, connective tissue, bladder, large intestine, small intestine, fatty acid degeneration. What do you think that is?
Getting rid of fat?
Burning fat. Who wants that? There you go. Burning fat. There you go. Gallbladder, joints. It's another joint program. See how they feel. Skin. There's the first beauty product that we have in there. And heart. You do not need to use them all. I've not used them all. Just know they're there at your beck and call, and don't get too excited. It's a bit like being in a sweetie shop. You couldn't possibly eat every sweetie. You will be ill. Just like this. Pick your favorites. Be happy with that. Meridian 2 is another hormonal one, which is great. So there's quite a few programs in hormonal balance. Circulation, heart, liver, lungs, lymphatic system. What do you think lymphatic system will do?
Balance hormones?
Yes, and if you look like you're really fat, but you actually know you're not, you're just somehow this walking water bag. It's not due to what you eat, but it's fluid retention. You can do both, but we can scan you for that, which one is the right one. Stomach, for stomach aches, but it's also the meridian of stomach. Like there's an entire course that I do, which is a month long for you to understand meridians. So please do not think that you have to understand meridians. And that's just a really shallow overview of meridians. Nerve meridian, kidney, organ meridian. Just leave them for now if you want to. That's absolutely fine. Sleep programs. So if you have chronic bad sleep, there's a whole system that I run you through. It's a 3-week program, and we get that sorted. What I really like out of Sleep and Job program is positive thought. When you're stuck in a rut and you just think like, I could just kill everyone and everything's going wrong, positive thought, that's what you go for. Rather than balance, or rather than some of the ones from the gold cycle. Like just highlight positive thought. Out of the whole thing, unless you have sleep problems, which we will work personally together, positive thought is the one you want to go for. If you have chronic fatigue, you go for fatigue. Exhaustion system is really like your adrenals are blown. You know what I mean, right? You just got completely burned. That's what the exhaust system is for. And that's kind of like the system is always when that has been a theme, whatever you've had like the most stressful job on earth and you're retired, you want to run an exhaustion system for the adrenal fatigue that you've accumulated over your life or the last stressful period. Exhaustion acute is for I'm exhausted now, I would like to have some ease. Acute means now. Exhaustion system means you're chipping away at it. Maybe at past exhaustion. Okay? Extreme stress. Is extreme stress for acute stress? No, otherwise it would say exactly. Easy, right? Good. We got that. Beauty. As much as I love it, and I do have to say, I've never looked at it till after COVID, I lost a handful of hair. I've had beautiful, luscious hair all my life, and I was in tears. It was like patchy, and like, I didn't realize how much it plays with your sanity when you lose your hair being a woman. I'm sure for a man, it's the same thing. But I just really saw myself having to buy a wig, and it wasn't a pretty idea. It would have been a good wig, red knots or something like that, you know. But like still, I wasn't happy with that. So I did hair religiously for like 3 weeks. I have new hair growth. I have no patches anymore, and I don't have a handful of hairs falling out. So that to me has been worth the machine by itself, because it's just like I never want to experience that again. Skin, but go easy with the beauty ones, unless there's really something wrong. You're all beautiful. You're all absolutely beautiful. So skin is great when you really have problem skin or scars from having had childhood acne or something like that. That is fantastic. Fitness program. My ex-husband, who's a personal trainer, absolutely loves that. You can have measurable results. If you're someone that is like active in sports, that's something I would pay attention to. But I can give you more. So it's recovery, regeneration, strength, performance, and all that stuff. Learning programs, that's what it becomes with. Learning system means like brain training. Learning acute is when you actually need to figure something out. You're on a course or something like that. It doesn't need to run for the whole duration of the course. You just run it once and it will last you for like a while when you think, you know. But you also need to understand that you need to have off time. You can't just run the, cram learn for an exam 48 hours without sleeping. Be sensitive, right? You will also need to then run something to digest, relax, and release. Memory is great. Both my grannies had dementia. When I read memory, I'm listening. So I'm not planning on having dementia. So I have that in my monthly list. I don't have a memory problem, but I have like, if that's something that has been in your family, just highlight it, put it in your little notebook, and just run it once in a while. Or when you go to the pub quiz, run it before you go to the pub quiz. See if it makes a difference. Concentration system, that's what I needed for accounts, because numbers make my brain boggled. It gives you extra oxygen into the brain. I really needed that, and it worked. And I did I do the system or the acute? You think where I did the accounts last weekend?
Yeah, cute. If it was mid
accounts.
Yeah,
it was midst of accounts, and I did them all. That is amazing. So it was concentration acute, exams, stress system, stress acute, and all that. So now we know what acute is. That explains itself. Chakras. If you are into chakras, this will be lovely. If you're not, forget about it. Protection programs. I love the protection programs. As you know, most of you know that I see things that other people don't see. So I pick up things that other people don't pick up. And when you come into my session, it will be really easy for me to what you release, for me to pick up. You walk out and feel great, and I'm left feeling yucky. So I know that to do that without Healy, because I'm a universal Reiki master, and there's other ways. It's not just Healy that does it. There's many other ways how you can protect yourself. But this is really easy if you don't really know what you're doing, or you don't have the time for it. For any practitioner, for anyone with crazy people around that offload on you energetically or verbally, that is kind of like a really good one. Cell protection is amazing. There are whole sequences that you do when you have the big C, not to cure the big C, but like to work alongside with chemotherapy and other things, so you can lower the negative side effects. And that are some of the programs in here that you would use. Planets. I don't know if you ever notice if there's a full moon, or
I'm crazy when there's a full moon.
Oh well. So if you're crazy when you're full moon, just highlight that and play around with it. Just think of it as a game, right? Beat Candy Crush, I tell you. So deep cycle programs, are they on there? Can you just check if you have deep cycle on your thing? Because it used to be a separate app.
Yeah, I do have it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's Now we're talking, right? Like to me, these are the most, if I would only have one program out of all of the Healy programs, I would choose Deep Cycle. First application, second application, third application. I would just do 1 week each without even knowing what it is. That's absolutely fine. You can read what it is in your handout, but just know that it kind of gives you a great deep clean. It's like, have you ever had your house deep cleaned? There's like, it just feels different when you walk in. You know that there's nothing lurking behind the cupboards and things like that. It's just wonderful. It's a bit like that. Breath of life is like breath of life. It's with a heart, it's an antidepressant. It's just beautiful. All is a detoxification as well. It works with the kidneys, the liver, the digestive system, the lymph. So it's kind of like a cocktail of detox. I would take that. If I detox after a full moon, the All totally does it for me. It might be too much for you if you're toxic. So go easy with the deep one. The deep one is not if you're a smoker, drinking wine or beer and not looking after yourself and not sleeping well. So word of a bit of caution there. But the first, second, and third application you can do even if you're not a squeaky clean yogi like I am. Go to the roots, goes to the root cause. So it can be childhood trauma and things like that. I think it's absolutely amazing. But if you're not ready for it, it's not the right program. Okay, I have not had childhood trauma, but I can feel it can go even into different generations of me. Deep is deep. It's very deep, but be careful what you're bargaining for. Free flow is just beautiful. Oh, it's just divine. It's life force energy, gentle, beautiful flow. Pure calm is pure calm, and renewal just feels like you feel younger. You feel younger afterwards, but not after one application. It's again accumulative. But like the deep programs is kind of like where I hang. That's what I do. Well, I think that's us. I hope that was fun. And please do reach out if you need any help with anything that you've been battering with for a little while. Don't think you can just go generic and press a button, where if you just want to support your family with this generically, this will do. Namaste. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.